Okay, welcome back to my channel, Gemini. This is for the month of June 2023, and certainly whenever you find this is more so when it would resonate. Everybody's on a different path, and you're certainly going to be making decisions on different dates. So certainly if that energy resonates a little further out, or you're already in that energy in May, then this is just the sort of the carry-on of that flow. So what I see here, not a lot of major arcana. However, on the upside, there is definitely cards of the moon, which is a major arcana, and the rest of them are kind of happiness and an overall sense of resilience and really kind of moving something ahead in a very positive way, especially with the clarifiers further out. So I feel like the great reveal may not be in the month of June, but you're certainly getting closer and closer to it. So we'll start out with the Two of Swords, and in this particular deck, which is the Fountain Tarot, the Two of Swords, of course, on the average, it does speak to making some kind of a decision or having to make some kind of a decision about how you're going to go forward with that Seven of Wands. You do have the upper hand in regards to some activity, but I feel like you're at a time where you have to make a decision and able to, bring something forward. So Two of Swords can also speak to some inner conflict, and that may be where you need to have a little more resilience to kind of advance. So again, usually inner sword, it can be a bit of a stalemate card with the Two of Swords. So you're feeling a little bit stuck, and you have to make some kind of a decision to kind of break free from this inner conflict or struggles that you've been kind of trapped within. So again, it's heart and mind is sort of warring against one another, and of course that will eventually lead to strain, which is a little bit of what I see here with the Seven of Wands. But on the upside, you do have more to your advantage with the Seven of Wands than you do to your disadvantage. So I feel like you will be able to do something because you're not in a position that is unfavorable. You're in a position where you're actually going to be able to defeat yourself. And even though this is a bit of a pause, there is still... Sorry, I just had an incoming call there, interrupt. But there is still the sense of whatever the struggle is, you're taking the pause to sort of find some meaning, and, and again, struggling between heart and mind and repressed emotion is really causing what's, the unsettling atmosphere here. So again, we're moving into the Seven of Wands. So Wands is about taking action, using some kind of energy behind it. So getting the momentum ready to advance in a particular way. So this is more along the lines of really excited, determined, unshakable kind of energy. It's having more confidence going forward in the direction that you were hoping to go in, or that you were already in, and whatever you're faced with, it's recognizing that you do have the upper hand in a situation to work through this crisis of the mind and the heart. You have all the tools, the ability here to just kind of break free from that. And so you're kind of taking your challenges head on with yourself instead of staying stuck, basically. So it's not up against anyone else but yourself. But you do have the determination to sort of take the reins and move ahead against all odds, so to speak, with that Seven of Wands. So it's a really determined energy, especially when it's followed here by the Strength card and the Two of Cups. So again, still cards of some kind of an energy around making a decision, something that you might have been a little bit trapped in with the Two of Cups. Could have been an emotional sort of scenario that was holding you back in some way. Twos are still about struggling to find some balance. Two of Swords, Two of Cups could be some words or some kind of emotional disconnection, either from you or another person. But either way, there is some kind of a judgment or awakening or some kind of clarity that's coming through in the month of June that's going to be kind of gifted you as the beginning of something beautiful, so that you can see how you can move forward now. And there'll be some either new emotional connection with yourself or to another, but either way, there's more trust in your emotions, or that you're willing to work on a situation more so, especially with the Eight of Coins here, albeit it's not an emotionally invested one. It's more of a practical, let's get things done. Let's do this for the, for the ultimate prosperity or, balance of things, in the grand scheme of things. So again, the card of the Judgment is still followed by the Strength card. So there's a certain amount of endurance that's required of you, especially with the Strength card being around all of these cards, and that does require you to kind of tame your emotions or your communications as well, because that'll throw you back into imbalance if you do not. So, and that would be in regards to a significant partnership to you, or partnerships. Doesn't have to be any one particular person, but just overall, because then when you power through that with courage and discipline, and harness your own energy so that you're determined and focused, you don't overrun with the passion and the without thinking ahead. You're reining in your own emotions on a situation, so that you can have better focus going forward. So that card of the Judgment, again, is a pretty significant one. It's still a little further out. It's not where you're at right now. You're still in the energy of trying to make a decision between your head and your heart. How do you find that balance there first before you can go forward? And again, that's still going to take a little bit of endurance on your part. But with the Judgment card, it almost feels like there's a reconciliation of some sort to the past, and that renews your ability to flow and feel a little less, restricted in some way. So there's a renewal of a certain connection in a more practical sense, that allows you to feel more stable. And maybe a certain level of, as they say, forgiveness is involved there, and able for that reconciliation to take place. But either way, I do feel like you will be back on a sense of purpose here very soon, Gemini, but it's just not clear yet when, because in June, you're still in the place of trying to find the balance between head, heart, and you're still working on all of those things. So the Eight of Coins, of course, still speaks on the working on. It's really on maintaining things in a practical way in terms of your finances. I don't feel like there's a lot of change there. I would say that you are still carrying on in a very successful way. You're still building on something here as well. Eight of Coins is still putting in the hard work, completing projects, that kind of thing, and just, really being efficient with your time. And I feel, again, like once you unlock yourself from the head over heart matter here in the disconnect emotionally, I feel that's when you kind of get back to business, so to speak, and really take some sense of interest in getting things done. Again, acknowledging all the things that you need to do. They're not really quite ready for action just yet, but it's being patient and dedicated and just thoughtful planning and all of that, which is going to open up your security. So Knight of Coins, again, it's, putting one foot in front of the other. It's doing what you need to do to get something done. It's being very methodical. It's not doing anything rash. It's not doing anything out of the ordinary, not taking any unusual risks. This is about practicality and steady forward motion. And again, it's methodical sort of victories. Things that you do successfully achieve are the ones that are going to be methodically done, where you actually gather your information, work through the details, use your intellect, try to be rational in the situation. And this might appear to be kind of that slow progress, but it is consistent, and it is dependable, and it's a very effective way to achieve your goals, especially starting in the month of June. This is what's important, is you being practical and dependable and organizing yourself in such a way that with your finances especially, that will make possible things opening up down the road. But right now you need to be really practical with your money and where you put things. We'll get into the other cards there as well. I do feel like there's something happy here that is coming in for you, something that is going to be a bit of a happy moment here in the month of June, because the Ten of Cups certainly speaks to feeling really impassioned and grateful for something, probably in around a family situation here, but it definitely speaks to some level of balance and, feeling like you have got some kind of connection or reconnection or trust a connection, something about emotional maturity and, more understanding in a situation and willing to build on something here over time. So I feel like this is relating to home life or romance, and whatever that is, again, it's going to give you some kind of emotional blessing here, and you'll feel a lot more content in the month of June. So we also have the card of the Moon. Now the Moon is a card of getting a little gleam of that insight towards something in terms of your luck and where things are headed. So something is coming through that's going to make you feel like you've got a little bit more awareness about a direction. And the Moon does, even though there's a lot of reserve, there's a lot of stress that can go with that as well. And it certainly speaks to, try to counter your own shadows and all of that. But it is still a card of a little bit of confusion that you're still kind of dealing with, but you will be able to move on from that and feel a lot more free in the future here, in the near future, because the Wheel of Fortune is the card that's clarifying that. So that means that there is a journey here that you're unaware of, and it's filled with a lot of maybe illusions, things that you're creating that are maybe not there, but it is. Just be patient, and then you'll be able to kind of see beyond the veil of illusion or confusion further out. But right now you're in a place where you need to kind of, the Five of Coins is you're trying to balance out your finances, and that something is coming in here after a time of feeling like you just weren't good enough, or something wasn't strong enough, or something wasn't possible, something that impacted your level of self-worth, I would say, with the Five of Coins, and that's changing with the Ten of Cups. So again, I feel like whatever hardships and things, or misfortune, things that you had financially that felt at a loss, I feel like you're going to see that you have something that you can be prideful in and take some level of joy in the month of June. So also with the Knight of Coins, again, steady wins the race. And again, that's around the Ace of Wands. So that still speaks to you having some kind of opportunity, or something that's going to show itself right after you keep doing, like maybe this is a bill that's being paid, or something that gets paid off. But the Knight of Coins does speak to, like, again, slow and steady wins the race. But the Ace of Wands is all about new start in a very impassioned way. Again, could be in terms of a relationship. Sorry, guys. But it also kind of stands for having a passionate beginning in terms of a career path, or something you're really enthusiastic about. So this is still very focused, determined action, a lot of determination and transformation that's kind of taking place due to just very slow, methodical actions. But it can be very strong beginnings, because it's a kind of a burst of energy here, and bold steps to reconnecting to something here. So again, Eight of Coins, it's still working on the things you need to get done. But again, when we get to the card of the Ten of Coins, a lot of cards around family here, and a lot of 10 cycles. So things are finishing up in terms of finances, where you're actually going to feel a lot more on top of the world. You're going to feel like you have a lot. This is not right in the month of June. This is further out, because you're still in the working on things energy. But the Ten of Coins does speak to, especially with the Ten of Cups, emotional happiness, things around the family being enriched in some way. So there is a sense of abundance or prosperity or stability, all of those things that are going to be coming through for you. And that's going to give you a sense of, gratitude and a lot more happiness going forward, and things that you can actually put your money toward in practical ways. And that is really mature energy. So this is kind of, brick and mortar energy, kind of putting effort into projects and things that you need to get done. But again, it's for the overall outcome being an opportunity that is going to be opening up to you after you put the money in the right directions. Once the universe feels that you can deal with money in an effective way, it will give you more of the same. So if you are using your money in a wise way, getting things paid off or doing things in a really practical sense, you will see that all of that will start to turn around. And then the universe gives you more, or levels you up in some way, so that you can deal with things on an even greater level. Again, we've got that Judgment card. I just wanted to just kind of reiterate some of that. The Judgment card, again, is almost like it's an awakening of some sort in regards to you have a stronger understanding in regards to a particular connection. So I feel like that seems to be a very significant connection to you, because it impacts a lot of how you're going forward. And like I said, the Judgment is that card of a final awareness of some sort. So, it does speak to, wanting a fresh start, bury the past, start anew, having more understanding of the situation to be able to release, whatever, was presently heavy in your thoughts, and giving you, an inability to make plans and go forward. But I feel like this is where you can come up with new methods and direct yourself in a more freed way, because your conditions are improving. Maybe not quite yet in the month, because like I say, you're still trying to find some balance, but just beyond that, beyond the month of June, I feel like that's where things were going to have the most effect. So Judgment is almost a waiting period. It's like a partial success. So once you go through this mind over matter, break free from your own, remove your own conditions on how things have to be, how things need to be, and just keep working on the path, you'll see that something just all of a sudden opens up for you and your conditions start to improve and you're able to start fresh in terms of enterprise, relationships, all of that kind of, even in terms of money, all of that sort of comes through because it's about self-development, finding purpose and meaning in your life, in your work, all of those things. And it's also about kind of remembering sort of who you were, who you are, and the things that were important to you, and trying to, because there is uplifting news with that Two of Cups. So some kind of a connection is going to bring about some kind of uplifting news further out. And maybe you do get a residual or a small amount of that information that's coming in right now in the month of June. But I think overall, it's just telling you that your situation is going to improve. And it is just due to you being very practical in the way that you move forward. Again, Wheel of Fortune energy, this is definitely going to be quite significant down the road. But, it's taking a look again at all the things that you want around you or that you feel have been advantageous to helping you to move into this space. So it's good news in around connections and relationships and all of that. But it definitely still speaks to, going toward getting repaid from the universe, or however this payment is coming in. It is some kind of a receipt of, like, is some kind of receival of, I don't want to say specifically money, but money is around here, and money, it's more than that. It's more about your connections as well as money. It's helping you to reconnect in all of these places. So it's about kind of long established connections and money is what I would say there. Again, 10 of Cups, 10 of Coins. So that's what I have for you. And again, it is good luck coming in, but not quite yet. You have to work through this other energy here still around family and practical moves and paying things off and kind of breaking yourself free from, your mind restricting your heart, that kind of thing. Releasing that old baggage. So new energy comes in, so you have this new lease on life. So that's what I have for you, Gemini, for the month of June. Keep moving forward, and we'll see you in future reads.